but quit as adults did not regain their full mental powers, found academics at King's College London and Duke University in the US. They looked at data from over 1,000 people from Dunedin in New Zealand who have been followed through their lives since being born in 1972 or 1973. Boy, it stinks to live in Dunedin, New Zealand. There must be a lot of pot smokers down there. Participants were asked about cannabis usage when they were 18, 21, 26, 32, and 38. Their IQ was tested at 13 and 38. In addition, each nominated, and I'm just kind of, in my mind, I'm going over this scenario here. They asked them questions at 13 years old, and they say, do you, tell us truthfully now, do you smoke marijuana? No. No, I don't do that. No, I don't do that. And then by the time they're 18, do you smoke marijuana? Yeah, man. Yeah. Their IQ was tested at 13 and 38. In addition, each nominated a close friend or family member who was asked about attention and memory problems. About 1 in 20 admitted to starting cannabis use before the age of 18. While a further 1 in 10 took up the habit in the early or mid-20s. And it took lab coats and surveys and test tubes to find that out. I know some guys in this town that I went to high school with. I could tell you the same thing. And then this. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about the guy that played Bigfoot? Did you hear about that? The guy that played Bigfoot. This is, where is this from? I want to read the full story. I don't want to read the half story. Where is it? DailyInterlake.com. A man dressed in a military-style ghillie suit. A ghillie suit is a suit worn by marksmen, by guys who are shooting long range or who are doing reconnaissance of some kind. A ghillie suit is a suit. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. It's meant to meld into the scenery that you're in. The guys that use these ghillie suits well, you'd never know they were there. You could be standing right next to them, wouldn't know they were there. A man dressed in a military-style ghillie suit who was attempting to provoke a Bigfoot sighting was struck by 2 vehicles and killed on US 93 south of Kalispell Sunday night. He was trying to make people think he was a Sasquatch, so people would call in a Sasquatch sighting. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Jim Schneider said, "You can't make it up. I haven't seen or heard of anything like this before. Obviously, his suit made it difficult for people to see him." That's why they're... Maybe they should have asked this 44-year-old man whether or not he had smoked a lot of marijuana in his life. The Flathead County Sheriff's Office identified the man as Randy Lee Tinley, 44, of Kalispell. Schneider said Tinley's motivations were ascertained during interviews with friends who were not in the immediate area, but were nearby smoking marijuana. No, it didn't say that. But were nearby when the man was struck at about 10:30 p.m. Alcohol may have been a factor, Schneider said. Impairment is up in the air. Tinley was on the southbound side of the highway about a half-mile south of the highway's intersection with Rocky Cliff Road. He was in the right-hand lane of travel, and the vehicle was unable to avoid him and struck him, Schneider said, of the first vehicle. Get this, the first vehicle driven by a 15-year-old girl. That'll ruin you for life. A second vehicle driven by a 17-year-old Summers girl also struck Tinley as he laid in the highway. Tinley was pronounced dead at the scene. Go imagine that. I saw this on the news, and some people had said something about it, and I saw it on the news over the weekend. I think I saw it yesterday. Bill Nye the Science Guy. You know, you remember this guy. My kids he used to have a little thing on Saturday morning, I think. I don't know if my kids ever watched it or not, but I can remember seeing it on. I never paid much attention to it. He's a guy, wears this little funny little bow tie, got this long face, and he was all about teaching science in sort of a entertaining way to all these children. He wanted to teach the children the science, get them to learn the science. You must know the science. So he gets interviewed, and in this interview, he just goes, I mean, he can talk about, they say, you can talk about anything you want to. Anything in the world you want to talk about. You want to talk about science, you can talk about science, you can talk about this. Here's what Bill Nye, the science moron, and I use that for a reason. Bill Nye, the science moron, here's what he decided to spend 2.5 minutes talking about. Now, if you have not seen this, reach down, buckle your seatbelt so you don't fall out of your chair at what this guy said. Take a look.
Denial of evolution is unique to the United States. I mean, we are the world's most advanced technological, so I mean, you could say Japan, but generally the United States is where most of the innovation still happens. People still move to the United States. And that's largely because of the intellectual capital we have, the general understanding of science. When you have a portion of the population that doesn't believe in that, it holds everybody back, really. Evolution is the fundamental idea in all of life science, in all of biology. It's very much analogous to trying to do geology without believing in tectonic plates. You're just not going to get the right answer. Your whole world is just going to be a mystery instead of an exciting place. As my old professor Carl Sagan said, when you're in love, you want to tell the world. So once in a while I get people that claim they don't believe in evolution. And my response generally is, why not? Really, why not? Your world just becomes fantastically complicated when you don't believe in evolution. I mean, here are these ancient dinosaur bones or fossils. Here is radioactivity. Here are distant stars that are just like our star, but that are at a different point in their life cycle. The idea of deep time, of billions of years, explains so much of the world around us. If you try to ignore that, your worldview just becomes crazy. It's just untenable, self-inconsistent. And I say to the grown-ups, if you want to deny evolution and live in your world that's completely inconsistent with everything we observe in the universe, that's fine. But don't make your kids do it, because we need them. We need scientifically literate voters and taxpayers for the future. We need people that can, we need engineers that can build stuff, solve problems. It's just really a hard thing. It's really a hard thing. You know, in another couple centuries, that worldview, I'm sure, it just won't exist. I mean,
in another couple of centuries, the worldview of creationism will not exist. Now, if you have never believed, if you've just sort of been on the sidelines of an elitist agenda, an elitist ideology, and when I'm listening to this guy, I'm also thinking of all of the scholars, all of the Bible scholars, who, and you could see in Bill's, in the way he was talking, he's sort of like me. I'm trying to think while I'm talking. And you could see in him that when he's describing those who believe in a creationist worldview, he's searching for words, because the words that he wants to say is, you people are crazy, you're idiots, you're a danger, you're a menace to society, there's something wrong with you, you should have your kids taken away. Those are all things that are in the frontal lobe of his mind. But he's got to put a block on there, and he's got to go back here and dig up some more expressionable things to say, something that would not get him in trouble. But that's not what he really believes. What he really believes is that, and what he said is that if you want to hold to this view of creationism, whatever, just don't teach it to your kids. We need, listen, he said, we need your children. We need your children. And so it doesn't take a rocket science, it doesn't take a geologist, doesn't take a physicist to understand where he's coming from. Where he's coming from is the idea, and these people, this elitist mindset, this evolutionary elitist mindset that are super educated, that think that you are a menace to your children by taking them to Sunday school and letting them read the book of Genesis. You are a menace to them. You are harming them. And in 200 years from now, people like you will not even exist. So you know what he's saying to you? Go away. Go away. Leave us your children so that we can totally strip any idea of a creator from their mind, from their thinking. We can just totally, they will grow up in a world that does not have any knowledge of God whatsoever, so that we need them. We need them as engineers. We need them as taxpayers. We need your children. I mean, if you want to believe it, go ahead, you moron, you idiot, you fool. There's something wrong with you. Why, if you wore a bow tie like me, you would know that creationism is wrong. And I could not get over the arrogancy. He is the front man, the representative. My daughter Alicia downstairs telling me, she said, wow, he's an idiot. Yes, we did watch him. He came on daily. No wonder my kids are messed up. They watched a guy with a bow tie. Bill Nye the bow tie guy. The idiot, the moron. Let me open up my can of King James in here. Do you believe in creation? Do you believe in evolution? Listen, I'm not going to deal with the science of it. And those who might listen to this to say, yeah, because you don't have the science. Let me say to those of you who might be listening to this, which I doubt, but you might be. You might be listening to this saying, wow, I never heard this before. What's this guy? Was he a creationist? What is wrong with you? Don't you know that we found all the monkey bones? We found all this. We carbon dated everything. Let me just say to you that your science is not what you think it is. You were told this, but you were told that all the evidence points toward evolution. That's not true. There is evidence that points away from evolution that they didn't tell you about. So if you want to jump on this little science high horse, be my guest, but you're wrong. But let's deal with it from a matter of reality and a matter of, let me turn it around on Bill Nye the bow tie guy. In 200 years, Bill Nye will not be around. In 200 years, he will not be